Hello, friends. Consider this mathematical equation, right? Um, this mathematical equation and this other one. How can we interpret this in such a way that it makes sense in real life, right? In mathematics, the first 1 year, number one, in mathematics, the way we say that is we say this one, we say the limit of s of x as x approaches infinity is 500,000. Now, if x is the number of years of being employed, right? And s of x is the number, is your salary after x number of years of being employed. Now, number one, what does limit of s of x as x approaches infinity equals 500,000 mean? What does that mean? How does this relate to you? Maybe as an employee, or how does this relate to you? So I'm going to explain this using a graph. So let me copy this graph. I'm going to explain this using a graph. So this actually, let me put this here. Okay, so this actually means that the this sign here, this notation here, this one here, it means that, you know, my number of years is increasing, right? The number of years of experience or of being employed is increasing. So that's the x value. That's the x-axis, right? The horizontal axis, right? So my number of years is being increased, right? It's going, so let's assume that the salary is increasing, right? Let's make an assumption that the salary is increasing as the number of years is increasing. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to plot the graph of this function. So what this of this expression, rather, the limit of s of x as x approaches infinity equals 500,000. So I'm going to plot the graph. The graph is going to look something like this. So it's going to look something like this. As my salary is increasing, I'm using the blue line, the blue curve now, right? My salary is increasing, is increasing, is increasing, is increasing, something like this, but it does not go, it levels up to 500,000, right? That means let me do a dotted line at 500,000. So that means my salary does not go beyond 500,000. That's what it means. That's what expression, this expression here, let me use a different color. This first expression, it means that, you know, the more years of being employed, the more experience you acquire from that industry, you know, your salary can never go beyond $500,000 or whatever currency you are using. So I'm just going to I'm just going to put the interpretation. So this is interpretation here. So this is the interpretation of that, what we just drew. Means that, so let me just write interpretation. So it means that as as your years of experience increases, your salary will increase, but it will never go beyond $500,000. So that's the interpretation of that. Okay, now let's look at number two. Let's look at number two. That is this one. This one. So what does this mean? I want you to think about that for a moment. What will this mean? How can we interpret this, given that x is the number of years and s of x is your salary after x number of years? What does this mean? So let's use a graph to explain this. Let's use a graph to explain this. So I'm going to copy this same graph. Copy this graph. I'm sorry, but I'm going to delete all that. I'm going to delete all that. Um, delete this. So what does this mean, right? So if you look at this in mathematics, number two is the way we say it in mathematics is that we say the limit of s of x as x approaches infinity is equal to infinity. That's the way we say it in mathematics. But if my x is the number of years of being employed and my s of x is my salary and that limit is equal to infinity, what does this mean? So this actually means that, you know, as I increase my number of years of being employed, or increase my experience, my salary will just keep growing without bound. So this infinity year, it means that your salary will just keep growing without bounds. So just keep growing, just keep growing. That's what it means. So your salary will just keep growing to grow beyond 500,000, grow beyond 1 million, you know, $1 million to just keep growing. So the way I'm going to draw that graph is salary will just, I keep increasing my years, just keep growing, going up, going up, going up, going up, going up, going up. Just keep going up. That's it. That's it. So as my years of experience increases, you know, see that probably maybe at when maybe I've when I work 30 years, 30 years, 30 years. This is just a sketch actually. Imagine at 30 years, I already even see look at that. My salary will be maybe about $700,000, right? And the more years you work, the more your salary increase. So that's just the um, explanation of that mathematical equation or concept limit. So I'm going to put the interpretation here. So let me copy this interpretation. Copy this, paste it here. Then I already wrote the interpretation. This I'm going to paste it here. So this means as your years of experience increases, right, your salary will keep increasing without bound, like to just keep increasing. It does not matter, you know, your salary will just keep increasing, you know, to just keep increasing. So that's the um, explanation of of those two concepts. Hope this helps you understand limit. Thank you.